Hello everybody and welcome to Solving Standard. I'm Corbin and this is the moment we have all been waiting for. Rivals of Ixalan has hit Standard and we can play Merfolk again. I am incredibly excited if you can't tell. I got a preview Kumena for TCGplayer. It was basically the highlight of my Magic career, and you know what? Now we get to play my favorite deck. I could not possibly be more excited for what we're doing here. And there's a lot of bans, so this is the time. This is the time for Merfolk. Ferocidon's gone. Ramunap Ruins is gone. Rogue Refiner and Attune with Ether. You know, those 1-mana go get a land out of your deck, put in your hand spells are pretty broken. So, but either way, the coast is clear and Merfolk is here, and I am so excited to make it happen. Look at that. I almost, out of habit, played Silvergill on turn 2 because I'm just always used to playing Silvergill on turn 2 of Modern. But in this case, Deeproot Elite is actually better. Next turn we can play a Jade Bearer as well as an Adept, if that's what we want to do. Or just a Mistbinder, but probably Adept and Jade Bearer. Gonna need to draw... Oh, well, we've been abraded. That is not that big of a deal. I'm fine with that. Our opponent's on some sort of Mardu deck, I guess, and they have good cards because it's on a land. Alright, so let's go ahead and just play Silvergill here. And this is why, you know, decks that want to have removal or so on like this, you know, this is just exactly what you eat up with Silvergill and Merfolk Branchwalker and Kumena. You know, you can just put so much, you know, just drown them in cards. They want abrading Silvergills or Branchwalkers that have either scryed you or drawn you a card. It just doesn't work out very well in the long term. You know, Fatal pushing a Silvergill feels pretty bad. All right, so here we go. Yeah, I see no reason. Our opponent just wants a 1-for-1, so I'm just happy to go in on this here. Just going to play the Mistbinder, play the Jade Bearer, and hold up Unsummon, which, keep in mind, it might come up here. You can use on your own creatures to protect them from removal, and that's what we're going to try to do here. All right, I'll go ahead and put this one on the Jade Bearer, because if our opponent goes for removal, it's going to be on the Mistbinder, and that's the one I'll unsummon back to my hand. We need to not draw any more lands, but besides that, things looking pretty okay for us here. Don't actually know if this is some sort of Mardu Vehicles deck that had an awkward hand, or it's just Mardu Control. Well, it appears to be Mardu Control. Okay, fair enough. We will sacrifice this Jade Bearer. Suppose that's okay. And followed up with some pretty nice stuff here. All right, so we'll go. And our opponent doesn't have land, so we also don't have to worry about getting fumigated or something here. This Jade Bearer is going to be out of the range of a braid for what it's worth. All right, we get in for 7 here. Played through 3 removal spells in 5 turns, and still got our opponent at 10 with however much this is in play, 6, 10, 14 power on board. Not bad. Unsummon to protect a creature. All right, our opponent found a 3rd land, but what can they do with it? They can play Ammon Eternal. Pretty good card, but not good enough. I'm just going to unsummon this and win the game. All right, so our opponent's got something kind of sweet going on here, but it's not good enough. Merfolk doing exactly what Merfolk does, which is push right on through counter spells and tempo opponents, or removal rather, and tempo opponents out. If our opponent's playing something like that, Nissa seems pretty solid. Blossoming Defense seems good here. Our opponent's playing a lot of removal. It doesn't seem like we necessarily want the Tempest Caller. We want to go wide. We don't really need to get tricky. You can cut a Jade Bearer. It is nice for the curve, but Jade Bearer is ultimately cuttable. We need to cut a couple more here. Crashing Tides is pretty decent. Kapala's actually very good here. You know, Brawl's Rebuke, Expertise rather, I like this card, and River's Rebuke, but I don't think we want them in this matchup. Don't really want to put Trials back in their hands. All right, I like everything we've got, but we do have to cut something. Let's cut another Jade Bearer And actually, let's cut it and unsummon. Our opponent seems to have a lot of removal and probably fewer creatures. So if we're putting in ways to not die to the removal. Yeah, his hand's decent. His hand's certainly not bad, right? But I'm going to mulligan it. 5 lands probably too many here. This is much better. That's our fourth land. We don't need that one. All right. I say much better. It's better. It basically is going to depend on how good this Nissa is. If this Nissa is very good, then this is going to be great for us. The great part about Nissa in this deck is everything's 3. So if you play it for 1 and scry 2 and it has 3 loyalty on it, then you can just 0 it for the rest of the game. And that's the nice part. You just 0 it for the rest of the game, and it puts basically everything in your deck into play. Now we have more instants and sorceries than the previous version did, but this is very good. And our opponent is and they might have an Ammon Eternal here. That would probably be the worst for us, but not the end of the world. Yeah, they're thinking about it. I think if our opponent plays Ammon Eternal, I'm just playing Kumena. Danto Vanguard. That card's actually very good. Oh, another Nissa, huh? Thing is, Kumena actually blocks this very well. Also, just play the other. I think I'm going to play the Nissa, though, for the scry value here. I haven't decided if I'm going to block or not, but I think we can get some value out of this. All right, I don't want that land. This is actually fine, I think, because we can play Kumena as well as the 1-drop and have 3 in play to draw a card. So I'll probably just let the Adanto Vanguard take down the Nissa. And we're getting abraded. Well, that changes things a little, I suppose. Not too much, to be honest, but Adanto Vanguard is a very good Magic card. It's going to see a lot of play in this new format. Tempting to play both of these and then the Kumena. I think I might do that. It's slightly less mana efficient, but it probably it preserves our best card in our hand here, which is Kumena and Nissa. Also, we'd be able to play Kumena and try to draw a card immediately. And it's all going to depend on what our opponent has. They've had a good... Danto Vanguard just puts a ton of pressure out all by itself. And they were on the play here, so... Maybe I want Unsummons back? I'm not sure. I mean, we only got rid of 1. Maybe actually what I do want is Entrancing Melody. If it was just giant big things, Ammon Eternal, then I didn't necessarily want it, but... Oh, gosh. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. This is quite the combo. Entrancing Melody, great against our opponent, though. Now we know that. Can't block that one so well, either. All right, it's pretty rough, but we have, if we can make the game go long enough, we do have some nice card advantage options between Nissa and Kumena, if we can get there. And I'm not going to attack. We basically just have to try to pull ahead on board because our opponent has a lifelink in Adanto Vanguard. So we're not really going to outrace that anytime soon. For what it's worth, I could try to block it with Kumena, but I don't think I want to do that. I think I just want to draw a card here. We'll take the hit. Okay, that's an Ammon Eternal. Our opponent's deck's pretty solid, to be honest. I mean, Cartouche on Adanto Vanguard is basically the dream, but Ammon Eternal, we only have 1 card in hand. It's pretty good as well. Oh, they're scared. They want to play defense. All right, I'm in. This is what we want. A board stall where Kumena just takes over. Yeah, Silvergill revealing Silvergill. Woo! Feels good. Yeah, this is great. This is how we get to take down the Ammon Eternal. So when it deals damage, he gets to get rid of them all. Oh my gosh, look at the dream here. Beautiful. So we get to really mess up the Amity Eternal of our opponent. And we get to have all the Merfolk we want. And there's some backup Kumena even. All right, well, that was pretty good, I would say. Our opponent does still have 3 cards in hand, but that was pretty nice for us. Now we have 6 Merfolk in play. So we get to grow the team. So another Cartouche of Ambition, for instance, doesn't wreck us. And that right there, friends, is why Merfolk is so good. Silvergill Addict is just such an absurd modern card. You can do that in Modern. You're in some sort of weird state, and you just draw, then you draw, then you draw, and all of a sudden we go from this board that, we had 1 card in hand in these 3 creatures, and now we have 2 cards in hand and 3 more in play. It's just crazy how good these cards are together. And this is the kind of thing where Merfolk is absolutely going to excel in Standard. I don't even think our opponent can attack here. Pretty cool deck, but it's going to be pretty difficult for our opponent to get anything going with what we have set up right now. We get to grow the team, then we get to play a Nissa and just sit back behind it. All right, they're going to exert so Kumena can't block. Coming in with everything here, huh? Sure, Kumena cannot block. However, Kumena's Speaker can. As can Silvergill. Well, it's other Kumena Speaker, I suppose. And I'll just take the hit from the Adanto Vanguard this turn because, say, the game's pretty much over in our favor. We'd have to not get afflicted out, I suppose. I mean, this decimates our opponent's board, though. We take 7. We go to 8. So we do need to protect our life total pretty aggressively here, but we're in a good spot. All right, unclaimed territory. Get on in here. And I see no reason not to just tap out for a really large Nissa here. We can threaten a Nissa Ultimate as well, even. All right, it's yeah, -6. So next, well, I guess I'm just gonna be using the 0 ability, but okay, well, unlucky, but not so bad overall. We do need to now start blocking the Adanto Vanguard, but our creatures will be big enough so that we'll actually have 5 toughness to put in front of it, even with a non-Kumena creature. Also, drawing that Blossoming... If we don't die, if something terrible doesn't happen to us this turn, drawing that Blossoming Defense is going to be set us up pretty well for the long haul here. I don't even know. I think it's probably better to just keep zeroing Nissa. We could threaten it, but it's not lethal by any means. You can also choose to draw 2 cards. Maybe that's better. Maybe better than growing the team is drawing 2 cards. I think given that we are incentivized to cast spells to mess up the Amity Eternal here, I think I'm actually okay with that. This card does so much work. This card is just insane. All right. We will 0 this. An unclaimed territory. I would like to put that into play. All right, Merfolk. Play land. I guess we're actually just going to pay... Oh, no, we can reveal the Kumena, so it doesn't matter. All right. Okay. Tap my mana properly here. I say that and then tap it for the wrong color. All right. Silvergill, revealing Kumena. Keeping up Blossoming Defense. Shrink the Amity Eternal. We also have bounce spells. I was going to say, we have bounce spells like this we can draw to mess up basically anything our opponent wants to do. I'd still have 5. I think I'm going to go ahead and get on in there with Kumena because I still have 5 Merfolk to tap to add counters on our opponent's turn. So we may as well make it unblockable and go ahead and start chipping away at our opponent's life total so we don't get, you know, shocked or lightning striked out of the game or whatever. Yeah, Crashing Tide plus Blossoming Defense, so pretty nice setup here. If our opponent tries to attack, we'll just block the we'll just block the Adonto Vanguard with a 5/5. Bounce the Ammon Eternal, I guess. I don't want to get afflicted. Yeah, it's just none of these options are good for our opponent. I'm just gonna go ahead and bounce the Adonto Vanguard now, though. Honestly, this should basically be game here. All right, activate Kumena. Grow the team. It's just there was a point where we had one card in hand and these 3 creatures, and just the power of Merfolk to just keep on grinding away after that point is just so good. Unsummon, huh? All right. Yeah, we'll play this. It's probably about time to just get on in there with the team, I suppose. We can attack with basically everything without any issue. Is it lethal? Is it lethal if I cast Blossoming Defense and kill this? Our opponent has 3 cards in hand, so I probably don't want to do that. I'll just get in with a couple creatures. We'll do this. This leaves us 5 back to grow the team again. You know, I could get a little more greedy and just try to swing out or whatever, but basically we're in such dominating control of the game that the only way we lose is if something crazy, weird, or bad happens, and the safest way to prevent that from happening is just to keep a safety net here. Our opponent has, you know, very few ways to actually win the game. You know, I could have swung out for lethal, but with multiple cards in their hand, getting blown out by removal or something, just not really where we want to be. All right, swinging at Nissa. I will allow you to do a damage to Nissa. If our opponent tries to do anything, we just cast Blossoming Defense. All right, I think we've gotten there. Another the same Adonto Vanguard, I suppose. Well, let's make the team a little bigger because we can. Seems pretty solid, I would say. Yeah, this is just so beautiful, seeing all these Silver Go Adepts in play. Oh, it's just great. All right, tap. What's the smallest thing we got? Tap this thing, I suppose. Unsummon this. That takes care of the Adonto Vanguard. Don't want to get fogged or something. All right, we got there. That's how you do it, everybody. Merfolk. It is here. I'm ready. I'm so excited for Standard right now. Bannings, who cares? We get to play Merfolk. Fear the fish. Thank you for watching.